Changing the name.
I will call the meeting of the Everman City Council to order. It is Tuesday, February 6th, 2024. It is 6:30.
Changing the name.
I'd like to call the chaplain, if he'd please come up and do the convocation for us. Everybody please rise. I will call the meeting of the Everman City Council to order. It is Tuesday, February 6th, 2024. It is 6:30.
Changing the name.
I'd like to.
I'm creeped out. Oh, a little delayed. Yes.
Yeah, wherever you want it.
And tonight we also ask special protection and guidance resources who's going to be on the Lord. We ask you one goal each and every day. We ask God for your holiness.
Now the Pledge of Allegiance. So I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next item 4. Item A, Everman Police Department promotional badge pinning ceremony. Corporal Troy Schrader.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So Officer Robert, or I'm sorry, let me correct myself. The addition of the school resource officers within our school resource division, it allowed that division to grow to where we could expand to add a detective position. The detective position was opened and Corporal Robert Patton put in a transfer request to go to that specific position. So Corporal Patton now with our school resource division. Corporal Bolliger with our patrol division put in a request to go be the corporal with our school resource division. So that ultimately, that transition, if you can follow me, opened up a corporal vacancy within our patrol division, in which Officer Troy Schrader has put in a letter of intent for and was selected for that position and is receiving a promotion today. Officer Schrader has been with the department for nearly 5 years. He's a SWAT certified police officer. He is always about going out and getting better training. He has served as a leader in the military and is now having the opportunity to serve as a leader here within our department. And we're very lucky to have him on board. So I'm going to be swearing him in tonight in his new position for corporal, and pinning him is going to be his daughter, Carly. You ready? Yeah, that's you. All right, sir. If you would please raise your right hand. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of corporal for the Everman Police Department of the state of Texas, and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state. So help me God. All right, sir. You get your signature right here. All right. Miss Carly, are you ready? All right. You want me to hand her the sharp? There you go. I'll let you. All right. You want to come get a picture? Do you have any families taking pictures?
Yeah, whole bunch of.
That's all right. Yeah, come on up. All right, sir, that's yours. Congratulations. I know you'll do good, man. You're going to rock it. Thank you.
Okay, next time on the agenda is the introduction of our new assistant city attorney, Lantiqua Burke.
Yeah, so as you recall, we had a change in staff, and so Miss Burks has come to us. She's got several years of experience, and we're happy to have her on board. I don't know if you want to introduce yourself and tell them anything about you, or do that on the record. That's completely up to you, however you want to proceed.
Welcome. Thank you. Welcome.
Okay, next item 5 is citizens' comments. We don't have any. Item 6, discussion items. Item A, notice by West Connections Incorporated, price adjustment based on Consumer Price Index or CPI, solid waste contract, section 12.A. 12.A.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and Council. So this is just on the agenda tonight as a discussion item, as it is already within the agreement contract that we have with Waste Connections Incorporated. This is not an unusual annual event where we get an increase from our Waste Connections firm. They are capped by contract at a 6% increase each year. The CPI reflected a 6.7% increase, but because that exceeds their contract cap, they cannot go any higher than 6% without renegotiating a new contract. So this letter is just a notice to the city indicating that there will be a 6% increase on trash collection. That will reflect on the May billing to the residents.
Any questions or comments?
I don't have that in front of me, to be honest with you, but I can follow up and see if I can send you a copy of the contract.
Updated to the city extent that usually on contract.
I mean, so our current contract that we've already executed with them calls for and allows for them to increase each year up to 6% based upon the consumer price index. So if the consumer price index would have reflected an amount lower than 6%, then they could have increased it up to what the CPI says. But the CPI indicated a 6.7%. They cannot go higher than 6%. So they're just notifying us of an increase of 6%. There's no action that we can take on this at this time because it's already in the contract. They're just notifying us of a 6% increase.
Anything else? Okay, next item B, staff report, capital improvement plan.
So we had our first of this round. We had our first capital improvement plan with the Planning and Zoning Commission. Planning and Zoning Commission up and it was time for renewal. So we did have elections at the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, at which time they elected a new president. So the current president of Planning and Zoning is actually Mr. Richard Garcia. He is now going to serve as the president for the Planning and Zoning Commission for the next year. Following that, there will be another set of elections. The public meeting was a great meeting where we were able to review our prior capital improvement plan and had an opportunity to talk about the many different projects that we had slated on the plan and what we were able to complete. The public did have an opportunity to come up and share some ideas and thoughts on the capital improvement plan at this initial meeting, and we did have some good feedback from citizens there. We are working now based off the feedback from both the commission and the citizens. Staff is working to develop potential projects to include in the future plan, and we will likely have our first workshop meeting on the capital improvement plan in March with the Planning and Zoning Commission. Those meetings will likely run either once a week or once every other week for about 2 months, as we've done before, where they will work to prioritize those projects. And we hope to have back to you by June the completed capital improvement plan for your consideration and adoption. There will be additional opportunities for public input and feedback, both with the Planning and Zoning Commission. And again, when it comes before you, public will have input on it, have the ability to give you input on it before you adopt it. Yes, ma'am, it was. Yes, and I'm sorry. Can I get your mics too? Sorry. Yes, ma'am, it was. And it is on our YouTube channel, same YouTube channel as our city council meetings.
Any other questions? Okay, next item C, staff report, South Ray Street Infrastructure Improvement Project.
Just wanted to give council a brief update on this project as it is a big one for the city. The water line portion of this project is wrapping up. They are doing their finishing tie-ins this week. They did several of them yesterday. We did have a problem with the contractor yesterday where the contractor by contract was supposed to provide notice to residents before shutting off the water and connecting the new line. Contractor did fail to provide notice to residents. And so we had several people in that neighborhood who went without water with no notice. We did work to try to notify those residents as quickly as possible and resolve it, but there wasn't anything that we could do at that point. With the damage had already been done. They will be doing another disconnect that will affect some residents on West Barron on the west side of Ray Street. And we have made sure that all those residents are aware of that. That will occur on Thursday. Water line project should be complete this week. Final inspection should happen over the next couple of weeks, and we will be done with the water line portion. We are currently working with Tarrant County Precinct 1 on the street reconstruction portion of this project. So from Neal Street all the way to Enon Avenue, we will be doing a complete rebuild of the street. And then from Neal Street to Everman Parkway, we will be doing what's called an overlay, where essentially we pull off the top couple layers of asphalt and do an overlay on that portion. We're working with Tarrant County now. In our discussions with Tarrant County Precinct 1, Commissioner Brooks, in his incredible fashion as always, has stepped up and is contributing funds to the project to help the city to make sure that we can stretch our street improvement tax funds further for us. I don't have a final dollar amount just yet, but I would imagine based off the conversation, it's going to be somewhere in the ballpark of 125,000 plus. So that will save us a significant amount of money within our street improvement tax, allowing us to use those funds again in the next budget year to hopefully improve some other streets. So we're very thankful for him and his effort there. The street improvement project likely will not begin until May because of the impact that it would have on the school. We would have to completely shut down the roadway when we do road construction project there, and we don't want to block off the school. So we're going to postpone the road construction portion until summer arrives and school is out.
Any questions?
Asked this before, will they put the I don't know what runoff holes or whatever?
Sure. So that particular section of roadway does not have what we call MS4 stormwater, meaning underground stormwater. We have researched and projected costs associated with that somewhere in the ballpark of $5 million to add that. What that portion of the roadway has is what they call valley storage and valley runoffs. So there's gutters that are built into the street. The street curbs and areas are valleyed to allow the water to run down into the creek. Many of those sections are being redone and repaired. Any sections that have damage to them, they are being repaired and redone. But there's no underground storage or gutters that we can put in over there without investing in stormwater pipes to go underneath. that would require the moving of some houses and roadways. And unfortunately, it wasn't planned for when the development was built. So it's just not feasible for us at this time.
Has that area? That you are, has that, ever had problems with, flooding?
With roadway flooding, yes, we have had significant issues over there with roadway flooding. Which ultimately, when we start getting into the conversation of stormwater improvements in this area, that will be a result of the flood study that we are pushing for. That is an area of focus in that flood study. And so what the flood study should show us is what infrastructure projects in this project zone that we're working in now can we do to improve that? Once that's listed both within our study and within what's called our hazard mitigation action plan, then that makes that a feasible project for us to pursue grant funds for through FEMA and TDM.
Any other questions? Okay, so let's drop down consideration of possible action. Item A, consider make necessary appointments or removals to the Senior Citizen Advisory Board.
And Mayor, before you take any action on this, so previously we did have Mr. David Longoria appointed to the board. He is here tonight to get sworn. Where'd he go?
Yeah, you had already been previously sworn in.
He has not been sworn in. We have been trying to get him to City Hall for quite some time. David Longoria.
No,
Or I'm sorry, Daniel Longoria. I apologize. Okay, we'll move on to the next portion. So we do have another potential applicant, Miss Judith Graham. She has applied to serve on the Senior Citizen Advisory Board, and council has not yet appointed her. There is still one vacancy on that board, so there is an opening if council would like to consider her appointment. If you do so choose to appoint her, she is here with us this evening, and the city secretary can swear her into that position.
So then I will entertain a motion.
I make the motion to approve Judith Graham for the Senior Citizen Advisory Board. Second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion?
No.
Poll the council.
Place one. Oh, no, abstain. Place two,
Aye.
place three, place four,
Aye.
place five,
Aye.
place six. Aye. Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
So
Want to come on up? We'll have-
Ready?
just a quick note. Judy Graham, I was in her Cub Scout troop many years ago.
Yes. Very quiet, very well.
I was gonna say whatever. That's cool. It's not on.
Thank you.
Okay, next item B, ordinance number 805, an ordinance amending the code of ordinances of the city of Everman, Texas, chapter 2, administration, article 2, council by amending section 2-21 meetings, subsection A, providing for the repeal of all ordinances in conflict providing a severability clause, providing a savings clause, and providing an effective date.
Okay, before we entertain a motion on this, likely requires some discussion. This action item was on the agenda last council meeting. Following that meeting, I had two council members who asked to have the meeting changed from 6:30 PM to 6 PM. We can do that with this exact same ordinance, but when you make a motion, you need to make sure to word which days and times you want that, and we will amend the ordinance to match the motion and ultimately sign it afterwards. Am I correct in saying it that way?
I can state the motion language and you can adopt the motion language if you'd like.
We're changing it to what?
That's up to council.
That's
Oh,
completely up to you. I had Mayor Pro Tem Mackey had approached me about changing the meeting times from 6:30 to 6. So this is back on here for consideration and action for you to consider. You can still keep it the first and third and move it to 6 if that's what you would like to do. Or you can move it to the second and fourth or whatever you would like to do. That is completely up to you.
Johnny, I remember a long time ago, we did meet at 6 and we moved it back to 6:30 to accommodate one of our council members who just couldn't get here by 6. I mean, he was scraping the door at 6:30 to get here. So the staff has to stay until 6:30. So they're here all day long and until 6:30 and then through the meeting. So it's only 30 minutes, but it's 30 minutes. So we just thought it would be better all around if we just bumped it back. All right, how should we word that?
So I'll state the motion language and you can adopt it. I move that we approve agenda item 7B with the following change. Section 1 shall be amended to reflect that section 2-21A of the Code of Ordinances will be amended to state that the city council shall hold regular meetings on the first and third Tuesdays of each month at 6 PM and may hold as many additional meetings and workshops as it deems necessary to transact business.
Okay, I'm gonna give that a shot because that's a lot of words.
That is
Oh.
the motion.
Oh,
You make that, recognize that as a motion.
There you go.
And then somebody will second.
I move that we recognize
As stated.
the motion made by Lantigua Burks as stated.
Second.
Have motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Poll the council.
Place 2,
Aye.
place 3,
Aye.
place 4,
Aye.
place 5,
Aye.
place 6.
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Thank you, young lady.
Next item, item C, ordinance number 806, an ordinance of the city council of the city of Everman, Texas, ordering a general election to be held on the 4th day of May, 2024 in the city of Everman for the purpose of electing the mayor, council member place 2, council member place 4, and council member place 6, designating polling places, ordering notices of election to be given, authorizing the city manager to execute a joint election agreement and election services contract with Tarrant County Elections Department, providing a repealing clause, providing a severability clause, and providing an effective date. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 806 as read.
We will need a motion to add the early voting location in Everman. That can be made by motion.
To include the early voting location in Everman. Where is our early voting location?
The Civic Center, it's at the Forest Hill Drive.
Forest Hill Convention Center.
Do I need to say that?
Just say to include
Okay.
Everman's early voting location.
Okay, so we'll start over. Do I have to start all over? Okay, I make a motion to approve ordinance 806 as read and to approve the location for the voting, early voting at Forest Hill. What's the center called?
Forest Hill Convention Center.
Forest Hill Convention Center.
Does that work for you?
Okay, all right.
So we got a motion
Second.
and a second. Any further discussion? Poll the council.
Place 2,
Aye.
place 3,
Aye.
place 4,
Aye.
place 5,
Aye.
place 6.
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Next item, item D, ordinance number 807, an ordinance of the city of Everman, Texas, renaming the Everman Animal Control Division and Everman Animal Shelter to Municipal Animal Services and adopting a logo for the same, providing for the authorized use of the Municipal Animal Services logo, providing a severability clause and providing an effective date. I will entertain a motion.
I move we approve ordinance 807 as read.
Second.
Who made the second?
I did.
Motion made and seconded.
Yes, I can elaborate on this. So we have previously discussed this in an effort to be reflective of our collaboration with the city of Forest Hill, as well as other potential cities that may come on board, wanting to follow a similar pattern to what we did with the dispatch center. And that it just sends a message to the public that we are unified and that we are collaborated. It's better for both entities. And it also gives us as a city to really rebrand a certain division for a positive rebranding to hopefully have more impact. The purpose of renaming it to Municipal Animal Services is that is inclusive of both the city of Forest Hill as well as the city of Everman and any other potential city in the future that may come on board with us. Now, their citizens can know that the Municipal Animal Services doesn't just serve Everman, it serves Everman and Forest Hill both. So that is the purpose of the proposed ordinance before you this evening, and we do recommend adoption.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
If we change it, does this affect anything as far as if we have to, for a grant under this name?
No, ma'am. So this is the way this ordinance is drafted and how we've worked with the attorney to draft it is we don't want to, this does not officially change the name of the shelter as it is licensed. So it is still licensed as the Everman Animal Shelter because changing that licensing name would require a DEA license and new state license. And that is a process that we do not want to go through. So in similar fashion to what we did with the dispatch center, this is the operating as, it's essentially Everman Animal Services or Everman Animal Shelter operating as the Municipal Animal Services. So although it'll show Municipal Animal Services on the front, all of our licensing and everything throughout will still belong to the city of Everman and will still be under the city of Everman Animal Shelter.
Okay, well, I knew at one time we talked about, with Forest Hill, you remember?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so I want to make sure we weren't going to have a problem with that.
So right now, the only cities that we're servicing is Everman and Forest Hill.
Correct. As of now, we have had discussions with other cities, which is why we are not being specific to just Everman and Forest Hill within the potential name change. We have had discussion with other cities, but we are not in a position to bring on those other cities until we have a facility that is capable of handling additional influx.
Is this the new logo?
Yes, ma'am. If approved by you, that is the proposed logo. Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
We wanted it to be colorful and bright and have a positive image.
Any other questions? Would you poll the council?
Aye.
Place 3,
Aye.
place 4,
Aye.
place 5,
Aye.
place 6.
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Next item, item E, ordinance number 808, an ordinance of the city of Everman, Texas, amending the code of ordinances of the city of Everman, Texas by amending chapter 3, animals and animal control regulations to add a new article 10, animal shelter advisory committee, establishing the animal shelter advisory committee, establishing terms and responsibilities of the committee, providing a repealing clause, providing a severability clause, and providing an effective date. I will entertain a motion.
I move we approve ordinance number 808 as read.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Yes, I need to elaborate and explain on this one. The city of Everman has always had an animal control advisory board. However, as a city, we did not take appropriate action in creating that board. It was simply created without the city council actually enacting an ordinance. State law requires that that board be created by ordinance, and that board does require certain appointees to serve on this board in accordance with the state law. So this ordinance is drafted to reflect that and the requirements. It is also inclusive and allows for the city of Forest Hill to recommend two appointees from the city of Forest Hill to also serve on this board. However, this council will be the one to actually make that appointment. If approved tonight, then we will bring back to you at the next meeting recommendations for appointees to this board.
Also, another thing, this is not something that's just popped up. The board has been meeting for at least 10 years. And so it just wasn't done correctly in the beginning. So it's not reflecting on what staff or anybody has done up until then. It's been around for it. But he's just correcting. Thank you.
So you said two from two from Forest Hill?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, this ordinance calls for two members, one being a city council member and one being a citizen of the city of Forest Hill will serve on this board.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, would you poll the council?
Place 2,
Aye.
place 3,
Aye.
place 4,
Aye.
place 5,
Aye.
place 6. Aye. Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Next item, item F, resolution number 2024-02-01, a resolution of the city council of the city of Everman, Texas, authorizing continued participation with the steering committee of cities served by Encore and authorizing the payment of 10 cents per capita to the steering committee to fund regulatory and legal proceedings and activities related to Encore Electrical Delivery Company, LLC. I'll entertain a motion.
I move we approve resolution number 2024-02-01 as read.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion?
I'll answer any questions if you have any, but
Is this what we discussed brought up a couple of months ago or last month or something?
so this is our annual participation within the steering committee and just allowing me to execute the agreements with the steering committee. The steering committee serves as representatives of the city and looks out for the city's best interest when negotiating utility cost affecting electricity in the state. So they keep us abreast of all the electrical issues and represent many cities as a part of the steering committee.
Any further discussion? Poll the council.
Place 2.
Aye.
Place 3,
Aye.
place 4,
Aye.
place 5,
Aye.
place 6. Aye. Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Next item, item G, resolution number 2024-02-03, a resolution of the city council of the city of Everman, Texas, approving an interlocal cooperation agreement for communication center and emergency dispatch services with the city of Reno, Texas, and providing an effective date. We'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve resolution 2024-02-03 as read.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any question?
So this is the last city of renewals that we've had to execute. We had some back and forth on the agreement with Reno, so this will be retroactive back to October 1st. It's just the final agreement that we have to renew for dispatch services. We're already providing and have been providing dispatch services to the city of Reno since the startup of Tarrant County Regional Communications.
Where's Reno located?
It's up near Hazel area on the north side. It's very confusing. I would hate to be the one to explain it to you, but there's Reno and then there's Briar Reno and agreements on how they all function. I'm not the one to explain it in detail. It's very confusing.
How many cities are we assisting?
So we provide dispatch services total for now, I believe, 14 different agencies or entities. But we touch more than 25 entities altogether if you count all the mutual aid partners and everybody that come out to assist in the county areas.
Any questions?
We serve more entities than any other dispatch center in Tarrant County.
Any further discussion? Poll the council.
Place 2,
Aye.
place 3,
Aye.
place 4,
Aye.
place 5,
Aye.
place 6.
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Craig, Danny's here. Do we want to,
Yes, if you want to go back up to that agenda item and we can finish that one out.
let's go back to item A, consideration possible action. So we got to vote, right?
No, he's already been appointed, so all we need to do is have Mindy swear him in with the oath.
Danny, you need to come up and get sworn in.
What board did we just assign him to?
He was appointed to the Senior Citizen Advisory
Thank you.
Board. Yes, ma'am.
I couldn't remember.
Yes, ma'am.
So now we'll drop down to item 8, city manager's report.
I don't have much for you tonight, council, other than we do have your tickets you will be receiving. If you haven't already received your tickets for the Everman Education Foundation dinner, they appear like tickets to just go. Just keep in mind, it is a $50 dinner per ticket. So make sure to purchase your tickets. I believe you can also purchase them at the door, but wanted to clear up any confusion about that. You should be receiving those both by email, and as soon as we receive them, we'll get them over to you as well for the hard copy. If not, you can also visit their website to put them on there. Or if you need any assistance and would like to go, just get with me or get with Councilwoman Davila, and we can get you connected to get those.
Yes.
Other than that, city staff has been working really hard right now on audit as we have our financial audit coming up. I say city staff. Susan has been working very hard on audit and preparing for financial audit that's coming up. So just to be aware that we'll be very, very busy with our financial audit process coming up.
What audit? It's March. It's February.
The financial audit for the last budget year.
The previous auditors used to come in December, and the new firm will be here
In March?
in February.
In February, and they'll give us their report in March.
Yes,
Okay,
by the end of March.
okay, thank you. I missed it.
So staff will be very busy with audit over the next several weeks. We are also preparing for our annual S&P rating evaluation. So we'll have that report for you hopefully pretty quick. We have that next week as well. So a lot of financial work going on in the background. And I keep saying we like I do much of it. She does all the work. It's all her. That's all I've got for you tonight, council.
Okay, mayor's report. All I have is Craig and I met with a group today. I might as well
Be an Angel
be
Foundation.
an angel. They're the ones that donate wheelchair swings and things for handicapped children. They wanted to come up here and see the park, so we were able to come up and show them the park and answer any questions they had. Craig did a fantastic job of giving them the information they were looking for. But anyway, they have their meeting tomorrow, and I think the recommendation is going to be to give us one swing, which is going to be ballpark around $100,000. So as soon as I hear something, if we get notification, I'll just send something out to everybody, say, hey, we got it. So keep your fingers crossed.
Yes, thank you. Yes, good.
So with that being said, time is 7:09 and we are adjourned.
Wow.
Craig.
That was long.